because I don't know how to read. Okay, you know what? This is not the time, nor the place, nor the universe for this conversation. Hello, my beautiful demons from beyond. We're gonna talk about all the books that I read in October. Because I read some good ones. So let's talk about it. Okay. We're gonna talk about these in order that I read them. Because that's how my ADHD brain wants to work. I'm gonna wear my glasses in this video because I don't know how to read. Also, ignore that. Ignore everything about me, actually. Forget I exist. So, the first book that I read in October was Improbable Magic for Cynical Witches by Kate Skelsa. Let me just skip. Okay, what to say about this? Okay, I gave this book 4 stars. I guess I should talk about it. Okay, so this is about a girl named Eleanor who lives in Salem and does not believe in witches, and it's all like, she works at a tourist witchy store. It's all very commercial to her, and she is very gay and has gone through a very traumatic event in previous years that she's still kind of recovering from, so she has hella trust issues, okay? And blah, blah, blah. She meets basically a coven of witches, one of whom she starts a relationship with. It's very sapphic, it's very witchy, it's very wholesome, it's very, like, about healing past traumas when you have trust issues, but, like, it's so relatable to me because I have had traumatic things happen to me that have given me trust issues for building connections and relationships with people who mean me well, and how, like, healing that can be. Yeah, I wish there had been more of a built or seen relationship with her mom. Her mom was just kind of, like, barely there, and I wish that was more. What am I thinking? I wish that was more built. I wish that was built up more. Also, it only, like, so she's given a mysterious tarot guide, and I wish that they, like, delved more into, I mean, it's cool how the cards that she's looking through deal with her healing journey from the trauma. That's really cool, but they could have gone into tarot and the rest of the cards a little bit more, I think. But overall, super cute. Is cute the word? It's wholesome. It's about healing. It's a very sapphic queer read. It's more uplifting than it is daunting, which, I mean, I personally think I really needed this when I did read it. And I love when that happens. And that's been happening a lot to me recently, and I love it. Okay. Next, I read, and I'll put it here, a lot of people on BookTube were talking about this, and then my friend had read it and was like, you should read it. The author lives in the town, or is from the town that I live in. So I was like, fine, it's spooky, this sounds spooky, I'll read it. And that is My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones. I have it here. You've probably heard of it. I gave it 3.5 stars. So basically, the premise is, although I'm sure you all know, the protagonist is this girl named Jade who lives in a pretty small town and is obsessed with slasher movies and would, like, write reports to her history teacher about, like, Slasher 101, and those are reports? Is that what they're called? Essays. Those essays are interspersed throughout the novel, which is pretty cool. And so Jade thinks that she is in a slasher, and she thinks that a slasher is going to happen, a slasher, story is going to happen in her town, and all these people are going to die, and she thinks that this new girl in town is the final girl, and she's wanting to, like, train her to be the final girl because she knows everything about slashers, so she knows how to, like, help her. Shit goes bonkers off the rails. I'll just say that. It's a slow build. I think that's a lot of people's problem with it. I don't mind that as much because I don't mind like a slice of life, slow burner. Like, that's fine for me. I like kind of the quiet tension, atmospheric sort of thing that works for me. The beginning part, like the opener, if you know, you know, gave me nightmares, y'all. Anyway, I didn't love it. Because all of the stuff that happens at the end, like all the stuff that's thrown at you with this killer, then this disaster, like dun 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 dun, wasn't it for me. And then also just like this thing thrown at the end of like, okay, I don't want to like give away spoilers or anything, but let's just say that like the last line, I hear people are like, oh, that really got me, but to me it's like this wasn't really explored, and it's odd to blame. You know what? Anyways, I'm not gonna go on about it. It just 3.5 stars. There's a lot that I really liked about it. I liked a lot of the writing style. I liked Jade as a character. A lot of people not a lot of people. Some people complain that it's like she's an unreliable narrator and it's like a lot of tangents in her head. I liked that personally. It's just, and a lot of people love the ending because that's when it gets action packed, and I agree with that. You know, you read it so much more, you digest it so much more quickly, and it's like, yes, there's like something to actually like delve into here, but the amount of events back to back to back was for me just way too much and like a little overkill for me. 3.5 stars. So, next I read The Jumbies, #1 by Tracy Baptiste. So I was looking, after I read My Heart is a Chainsaw, which is not the kind of book I usually read. I like, middle grade YA, you know, adventures, wholesome, found family, cutesy, like, I like cutesy adventures stories. That's my vibe. Or I like really dreamy, atmospheric, like magical realism, magical surrealism, where I feel like I'm floating in a weird time. That's also fun. So after I read My Heart is a Chainsaw, which is not really my style of book at all, I decided I still wanted to read some spooky reads because it was October, but I needed some lighthearted, like, middle grade, fast reads after that. So, The Jumbies, I gave The Jumbies 3.75 stars. And so, what this is about, so this is, set in the Caribbean, and it's based off of Caribbean folklore, and, it follows the main character, Corinne, and kind of loosely her friends and her dad. Basically, Jumbies are these forest-dwelling creatures, and there's like different kinds, just like there's different kinds of like fae. There's different kinds of Jumbies, there's different types, and so basically, you find, I don't want, again, spoilers, so basically, this is mostly about Corinne and her friends' interaction and like battle against one specific Jumbie, and then a few others come in later when the big battle happens, but one specific one who is invested in Corinne for a specific reason. And I think it's fine enough. It's a good time, and I mean it's an adventure, a cute little adventure story. It just has one of my least favorite tropes, and it's funny that I dislike this trope so much, as if because it's not something that's happened to me, so it's not like it holds like it's like a trigger for me, but like for some reason it happened in Ocean at the End of the Lane, and it happened here, and it happens in like there's different ways to have this trope happen, but for me it's when there is an evil entity and there is a single parent raising a kid, and the kid knows that the evil entity is the evil entity, but the evil entity is seducing the single parent, and they're like falling for it / under a spell or what have you. I hate it. I don't know why. I don't like it. Just like, yeah, ugh, I hate it. I enjoyed the main character, Kareen, and she has 3 friends, like these 2 boys who are basically homeless, and this girl that she meets at the market, and who lives like a very different life than her. All of the like relationships I think are really well done. It's just that one thing was like, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to continue this series. I think this was just like kind of a one-off for me, which is usually how I am with series. I don't love series, to be completely honest. So yeah, 3.75 stars. I would definitely recommend it for people that are looking for some non-European folklore middle grade. Okay. Next, I wanted to keep, because I was like a bit behind on my reading goal, and I set my reading goal really low, but I've just been having a hell of a year, and when work is crazy, I just don't read. So, oh my god, did you hear that? Okay, so next I read Anya's Ghost by Vera Brosgol. And what did I rate this? 3.5 stars. It's a graphic novel, so the artwork is very delightful. So, okay, I guess, what did I like about it? What did I not like about it? I don't think there's anything I really disliked about it, to be completely honest. It just was, it was alright. I mean, it's a little short story, you know, what can you really say? It's interesting because right here in the description it says, she's embarrassed by her family, self-conscious about her body, and she's pretty much given up on fitting in at school. This narrative of embarrassed by her family and self-conscious about her body is not really explored in the story. And she has a friend, but she doesn't like her friend, and I don't know. I guess, like, she's embarrassed by her family because she is a Russian immigrant, and she does treat, there's another Russian immigrant who gets bullied, and she kind of, like, distances herself from him, and is kind of embarrassed by him as well. I did enjoy the plot twist that happened. Yes, 3.5. It's fine enough. Okay. Next, I read, this one got me, okay. It's Coming Back by Jesse Zabarsky. And this is 4.5 stars for me. I had read their other book. This is a graphic novel. And I had read their other graphic novel, Witchlight, which I gave 5 stars. Hold on. Let me go back. Okay, so this is really interesting. Also, first of all, the artwork. This is like one of my favorite graphic artists / illustrators. I just am in love with their art style. It's light, it's like fantasy, it's like comic-y, it's illustrative. It's just like, they do so much with color and line work, easy, chill line work. I don't know how to describe it, but they like build these worlds that are super interesting visually. It's just so freaking good. So the story is, this is in a world where basically everyone is like born from seeds, and at least in this original world that they start off with, everyone is, I don't know if they're female, but they're femme presenting, and there's different types of magic, and basically, the 2 main characters are Preet and Velissa. And it says here that Preet is magic and Velissa is not, but that's also not really true. Velissa just has a different type of magic, I think. Anyways, so basically this weird fog appears in the library, and Velissa, who is a librarian, says that, she's gonna go check it out. And, Preet, a seed comes to Preet, and you're not supposed to raise a seedling person alone, but she chooses to because she misses her partner, Velissa, who's off in the library otherworld now. And so obviously Preet gets in trouble for raising this child and is sent off to other worlds. And like seeing the other worlds is also, and like seeing the people of the other worlds, so cool. love it. The way it's illustrated is just so amazing, impeccable, beautiful, atmospheric. And it's about them kind of finding their ways back to each other and making their own way, and it's sapphic, and it's queer, and it's like this queer fantasy world. It's so good. I wish that there was more in this world. I think some of the reviews said there's like the plot is a bit vague, especially like illustratively speaking, to like know what's going on. I'm fine with that. Really, ultimately, I just feel like it was too short. I could have like delved in, like I could live in this world. So freaking good. So yeah, 4.5 stars. Highly recommend. It's just like this wholesome, warm hug. It's inspiring. It's just, it's great. I highly recommend it. These next two are books that I started in October, but actually finished in November, but I'm counting them as October reads because I started them in October, so it's fine. Okay, Beyond the Ruby Veil by Mara Fitzgerald. I liked, first of all, the cover of this is like bonkers. Am I right or am I right? It's bonkers. What else was I gonna say? I gave this 4 stars. It's definitely, and okay, a dark queer YA fantasy. Yeah, it's a dark queer YA fantasy. I gave it 4 stars. My complaint with this isn't the complaint that most people have from the reviews that I've read. A lot of people hate the main character, but that's the point. To me, I was reading this as this is from the point of view of basically a villain origin story. A villain retelling of events. I read this character as the villain and how they rationalize the way that they act and how they treat everyone around them. This is a narcissist. This is a manipulator. This is someone who cannot see beyond themselves whatsoever. So the main character, Emanuela, lives in this world that is just this one city surrounded by a veil, and there's no like water source, you know, like naturally speaking, like the ocean or a river or a well or a spring, what have you. So there is this entity called the Water Kriya, who basically has lived for as long as the city has lived, and basically when people are about to die, they go to a tower. Their blood, why did I say it? Their blood is drained from them, and the Water Kriya has magic that turns the blood into water for the townspeople. Okay, here is, I think, immediately where I don't comprehend. Okay, it's seen as a respectable and honorable and a civic duty when you get a mark that says, like, you're going to be dying soon. You report to the tower to give your blood, because it's like you're doing it for the city, you're giving water to the city. It's like an honorable thing to do. But then the conditions within the tower are like these dank, gross, horrific cells, as if people, so they're like prison cells, as if these people are being punished for something, but they're not criminals, they're regular fucking citizens who are doing a good thing. So here's my thought about why this world doesn't make any fucking sense. And why, like, there wouldn't be pushback or fear of the tower. If you're gonna have citizens give their blood, why not, like, give them lush, like, and that's their final, like, moments, instead of doing it in a dark, dirty, nasty, cold, uncomfortable cell and having their last moments be miserable. Why not have, like, lush beds and, like, bring them nice food and, like, you know, have them live in, like, these super comfortable spaces while they're giving their blood before they die? Why does it have to be this horrific, dark, scary thing? I just don't get it. Like, you know, everyone, like, there's different people in the book that are like, things need to change, things need to change. And it's like, yeah, but, like, this system isn't necessarily a bad system. if people want to give up their blood to make water and there's someone here that can change that blood into water, then why not just make a system where it's seen as a very positive thing as opposed to a scary thing that like you have to like endure like a criminal? Why not just have them in like lush environments, like living out their best life in comfort in their last days? I just don't get it. It's totally not even brought up. It's not like looked at all. That was my biggest pet peeve, honestly. I like the main character. I mean, like, not like she's likable, but I like her as a character. She's a villain, very clearly. But I enjoy her as a character to read about. I obviously, she has a best friend that she manipulates and is basically like her sidekick in her mind. He's the Kronk, you know? Alessandro is his name. And I love him because he's so, like, anxiety queer. We, like, you know, nerdy, loves to read, and, just, like, has such anxiety about, like, talking to guys. Anyways, what's the plot? Okay, I mean, the plot basically is that I don't really want to. So, Emanuela gets the mark, goes to the tower, it's horrible, she breaks out, and she basically finds out, I don't want to, like, be too much of a spoiler, but basically she finds out that they go outside of their city, we'll say that, and horrific things ensue. Another thing that dropped the score down for me was that when they're outside the city and they're interacting with two other characters for a lot of this story, they're just running around. They're running around fighting the other two people. They'll run around to somewhere else and then they'll fight the other two people. And like there's just like this back and forth of like altercations between these two other characters, and then they'll run somewhere else and then they'll fight the other people again. It's just a bit, that like kind of went on a few times and I was like, okay, so there's no plan here. There's no like, you're not even like trying to find anything out. It's just anyways. Also, it's very, very violent. I wouldn't normally read a story with this much like gore and like violence in it. Not really for me, but I did like the writing style. And I think the world that has been built is really interesting, and I think the viewpoint of the villain thinking that they're the main character, they think they're the good guy. They think they're the savior. They think that they are the hero, and that's what makes a great villain, I think. And so I am gonna, I think this is a duology, or at least it is right now. Hold on, I'm gonna check. Yeah, so at least right now, I don't know if there's gonna be another one, but Into the Midnight Void came out this year, and I am gonna read it because they are short reads, and I am gonna read it because I am intrigued about, you know, where this villain arc is going, because I think a lot of people wanted the character to grow or to realize how horrific they are being. No fucking way! I want them to get more evil. And then I want them to get, like, fucked up in the end by the actual good guys, which is Alessandro. I don't remember what happens to him. Anyways, 4 stars. But I'm gonna read the next one. And if it is, I hope it's a duology, because I can fuck with a duology. I hate series that go on and on and on. But since they're short, I'm gonna give it a go. Okay. The last book that I read in October, started in October and finished, I think, actually yesterday, which was November 6th. I started this on Halloween, actually, and it's another one that all of you know, for the most part, A Psalm for the Wild Built by Becky Chambers. This is Monk and Robot number 1. Does that mean there's more with them? Wait, I didn't even know that! Okay, I'm gonna add that to my to read. Okay, and then again, the cover, so beautiful. And then also just like, I love wholesome robots. It's very Iron Giant, okay? It's very Laputa, okay? And I'm here for it. 4.5 stars on this one. So basically what it's about this. Oh, also the main character is non-binary. Just saying. So basically, it is this futuristic kind of, I'm not going to say a utopian world, but it's this future world where humans are much more in tune with nature and like not being huge dicks to the place where they live. It doesn't seem like money exists, but it doesn't seem like a capitalistic society in the way that we currently live in one. And this is like way off in the future. So basically the premise is robots became sentient and conscious of their aliveness, of their existence, and they said, we do not want to work for you. We're gonna fuck off into the wilderness. Don't contact us, don't need us. And humans were like, fair. Which immediately is so unrealistic, because, like, I mean, if that happened today, humans would be like, no, you're our slaves. But in this world, humans were like, respect. That's cool that you have chosen to do that, and we will see you whenever you want to see us, because we're not gonna fuck with you. Which is, like, awesome. Also, just, like, the way this world is set up sounds, like, really fucking chill. Like, houses are, like, mounds with, like, gardens on them, and, like, everything's, you know, solar powered, and shit's cool like that. So we're following a monk. So Dex is a monk, and there's the religion is not the religion that you'll see on Earth today. It's a completely different religion, which is really interesting, and I like all the different aspects of it, especially theirs, which is like their god. I think it's the god of, doesn't say, but I think it's like a small comforts basically, which I can fuck with. I can fuck with that. Dex lives in the city in a monastery, and they are a gardener, but they, having lived in a city and the world has changed so much, they have never heard crickets before, and they become like obsessed with hearing crickets. So they decide to become a traveling tea monk, and they have like a little bicycle with a big wagon on it, and they go around to different villages and such, and like basically a tea monk makes tea for people and listens to their problems and helps them relax for at least a little bit, and they go, but then they still have not heard crickets, and so they decide to go way out to this last known place where crickets might be, and there they meet a robot, and the robot's super cute and wholesome. And another thing that didn't make sense to me was like, they are coming into contact with what is basically, at this point in their society, a mythical fucking creature. And instead of being like, oh my god, this is amazing, or oh my god, I'm so like intrigued, I have all these questions, like this is, whoa, this is, I can't believe it. They're like annoyed at having to like entertain and meet this robot. How is that your reaction? That doesn't make any sense. So that was like, I didn't like that, but overall, this is just such a wholesome, such like a hug. It's a cup of tea, a cup of warm tea. Their budding friendship is everything to me. That last, I cried. Okay? I cried. There's this point where, Dex is making it seem like they're not going to continue traveling with the robot, but then they like say something that indicates that they are going to keep traveling with the robot, and the robot like looks at them and like is smiling, like, you know, radiant. I cried. I love them. I love that robot, and I love the concept that like robots name themselves after the first thing that they see, and I love that like they basically choose to not be immortal, to have their consciousness be immortal. They choose to die and have their parts used to make a new entity. It's just really delightful. It's a very short read. If you're looking for something like very comforting and cozy and very just kind of philosophical about life and about consciousness and about choice and a lot of things, memories, past lives, and if you want to like be in a world where like all of our world's problems don't exist and humans are actually kind and thoughtful and intelligent and considerate, then this is the one for you. It's very delightful. I'm glad that that was like my last closeout. Okay. So yeah, those are all of the books that I read in October. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my god, I missed one. Hold up. I absolutely forgot to talk about. I also read A Daughter of the Trolls by Mackenzie Catrone. I gave it 3.5 stars. There's a lot to like about this. The writing wasn't really for me. The writing style, it was a bit, I don't know if this is their first book or not, but the writing was more telling instead of showing. And it was a little bit tropey, a little bit cringy at times. But I loved the characters for sure. The main character is wheelchair bound, and that's Own Voices. The author is also the author makes their Instagram. They do like these awesome cosplay like makeup looks, super neat. So basically, the main character lives in a glade with a bunch of like goblins and fae and elves and brownies and like, you know, a gambit gnomes, like a gambit of fae like creatures. And the glade is protected from witches by a ring of salt, particularly Black Annis, which is like the big baddie. And there is a gap in the protection, and Black Annis gets in and kills a shit ton of people, and also takes the main character's mom and a bunch of other entities and friends to her cave, and the main character and her longtime friend / love interest go out, and they meet I was gonna say a good witch, but apparently this character's not a witch, but she does have magical powers, but apparently witches can only be bad in this universe. Anyways, that's my favorite character. The elder, what's her name? The elder lady, the elder guardian, I can't remember her. And so, with the help of their childhood friend / love interest, and the elder guardian lady, they go to find Black Annis's territory and save their friends and family. And it's great because it's a lot about you finding your own strength and growing in yourself despite a lot of doubts and despite literal physical limitations. So in that regard, finding like the power within yourself, I really liked that. I liked the characters. I don't think this is, I think, also a series, a number 1 in a series. I'm not going to continue the series just because, nothing new was out for it. So that's fine. But there's going to be more, I presume. I gave it 3.5 stars. It was fine enough. Not really my style. It came in a book box, I think, which is why, the unplugged book box, which is why it's not something I think I would have chosen for myself personally, but it was a unique perspective and a unique take on kind of the fairy tale genre, fairy tale worlds, and so on and so forth. So good enough. Okay. Oh yeah, let me tell you about what I'm reading right now, actually. I've been slowly going through We Won't Be Here Tomorrow and Other Stories by Margaret Killjoy. I'm loving it so far. The first 2 stories have been my favorite. I've read, I think, was it around 6, 7 of them now? The first 2 are definitely stand out to me, so I think they, like, it's a little front loaded. I'm really enjoying it. I don't usually, again, read short stories. It's not really my forte, but my friend is lending me their copy and was like, these are really good, and a lot of them are queer in some way, gender queer in some way. So I love that. It's like, some of them are like speculative, some of them are like sci-fi-y, some of them are like near future speculative. I fucks with it. I'm very much enjoying it thus far. And then this was so like on Libby, usually there's like, you know, 1 or 2 copies of a digital book, which doesn't make any sense as a concept, but you need to have people have like the demand of books for some reason, even though it's a digital copy. Anyways, this book had unlimited copies. There's like a special going on about it. It's like a book club, read this book sort of thing. And it is A Snake Falls to Earth by Darcy Little Badger, which was on my TBR already because I saw the cover at my local bookstore and was like, this cover is so fucking good. So that's already been on my TBR, and now I just started it. And I mean, I like literally just started it, so I don't have enough information to tell if it's going to be good or not, but I hope it is. That is it for me today. I've been filming for way too long. Oh, goodness gracious, why do I do this to myself? Okay, I'm going to eat lunch because I'm hungry. And I will see you all sometime. I'm going to try and film more. What an empty promise. Okay, bye! Why can't... This is when I, like, speak, I don't do it well. Holy shit. Oh my god. I'm the problem, it's me.